Hello everyone, this is Taylor Edrington with Royal Gorge Anglers in Canon City, Colorado, the Arkansas River's oldest fly shop and fly fishing guide service, and only Orvis endorsed outfitter on the Arkansas River Basin. Thanks so much for viewing. I hope your October is off to a fantastic start. I know we have really started October with a bang here on the Arkansas River. A lot of very, very productive fishing out there right now, not only on the Arkansas but our other local drainages, Grape Creek, Badger Creek, Beaver Creek, South Platte, and even Spinney, kind of holding its own here as we go into the fall. Uh, you know, Weather-wise, just awesome, awesome forecasts coming up. It's been great, great weather thus far this fall. It's been warm in September. Finally, we're starting to see a little bit of a cool down, especially with overnight lows. More typical weather with September than October. Typically a little bit cooler in October than it is right now, but we're still seeing, daytime highs in the high 60s to mid 70s, and good overcast conditions, cloud cover, small, fall showers. Nothing to be concerned with like monsoon showers, but just slight showers moving through. Really affecting the mayfly activity in a very, very, very positive way. We've seen very productive and consistent mayfly activity on this river day in and day out. Of course, focusing on the life cycle, a little bit more nymphing in the morning, emerger fishing as the day progresses, maybe late morning, and then moving into hatch activity and heavy hatch activity in the afternoons. Still seeing some red quill activity out there, which is unreal. I mean, I don't know that I can remember the last time we had red quills in October, but I had a trip 4 days ago where we had just spinnerfall activity from 10 a.m. on, and great, great drake activity in localized areas. We've seen consistent gray drake activity both in the nymph stage as well as in the hatch matching stage in the adult part of the life cycle. And typically we're seeing those bugs in the afternoon, and those are big flies. Those are size 10 and 12, real white to gray body. Right now, as far as sections of the river, seeing a lot less productive fishing from Salida up as far as hatches are concerned. Still great nymphing and emerger fishing up there, but not as strong hatch activity as you will find in Bighorn Sheep Canyon, which is the section from Canon City up. And so, really we're focusing our efforts in Bighorn, and, what's really going to be fun in October, what we all look forward to, and really the reason this is probably my favorite month to fish the Arkansas is because of the streamer fishing. And with our brown trout population beginning to go in kind of that pre-spawn, time period where they're beginning to get a fair bit territorial. That streamer activity, when they're territorial, I mean, fish are very active on streamers. So, double streamer, tandem streamer rigs are very productive and will continue to increase in productivity as we move through the month of October. And again, realize we're in the banana belt in Colorado. We don't really see cold, cold weather here until December. We're fishing hard through November. And, a lot of good fishing days up through Thanksgiving on the Arkansas. Typically 10 to 15 degrees warmer than the front range. Unless we receive an Albuquerque low, snowstorm in October, November, which is few and far between. So really focus on this river as we move through October, and don't forget, fishing still very, very productive in November on this river. Starting to see a little bit of midge activity, but we're really focusing on the BWO stuff. So let's look at some rigs. Still, when we're seeing a lot of emerger activity, what our guides like to run are dry droppers. And, whether you run a beadhead nymph or whether you run an emerger with, more of a wing or wing case popped on it and a small split shot above it, makes no difference. Sometimes if there's a little bit more activity in the subsurface film on emergers that are popping their wing case, we tend to go towards those non-weighted emergers like a batwing or iceberg and then throw a small split shot in front of it. We're still fishing, like I said, BWO nymphs deep under stoneflies, and stoneflies are really back on track on this river. Stonefly will fish 365 days a year, but really the peak time period to fish stoneflies is in the fall and in the spring, and really we hadn't seen a ton of stonefly activity as of yet in September until really the last week of September and the first few days of October here. So let's start with the nymphing and kind of look at some stonefly patterns. One that just is a mainstay pattern, one that's tied locally here by Larry Kingery, is the iceberg, the 20-incher. The 20-incher is one of our mainstay kind of breadwinner patterns. That's a good fly to start your double nymph rig off with as a lead fly. The wired stone, another very productive stone fly on this river. A new pattern from John Barr that we have just done extremely well with is the hair copper. It's a cross between a hare's ear and a copper john. Great body segmentation, really, really buggy fly. And then really starting to pick up some fish on smaller rubber leg stones, which are tied here locally with custom colors and really fish very well. We have those both just standard weighted bodies and as well as weighted with a cone head. And right now, just, to touch base on flows, the flows are as low as you're going to see them right now. I mean, we are at that, 300 CFS level in Bighorn Sheep Canyon. Obviously lower than that as you move up the river. Granite in the, 200s. And so, accessibility, weightability is going to be at its peak right now. But the one thing to consider is within that, we really need to lengthen our leaders and use a little bit smaller diameter tippet because fish are a little bit pickier with this low water and super clear, gin clear conditions. So, while we wish we had a little bit of stain to the water to kind of take that edge off, this is kind of what we have in October. And, with the weightability and accessibility where it's at, you really can't beat that. And but just do, focus on more 7.5 foot 5X leaders, maybe 9 foot 5X leaders for nymphing, and rather than 9 foot 4X. And then for your dries, if you're going single dry, I run a 12 foot leader in 6X diameter minimum on that stuff. So we looked kind of at our stoneflies. Again, running that on a little bit longer leader, like a 9 foot 4X or 9 foot 5X leader rather. Fluorocarbon is preferable when we're nymphing, obviously. And then, like I said, we've got some tremendous mayfly activity still. Some red quill stuff. So on the red quill side of things, I really, really like the CDC pheasant tail, kind of a soft tackle pheasant tail. And then another fly I really love, kind of a soft tackle design as well, is the dirty bird. Those are great red quill nymph representations. And then as we kind of move away from red quills and into our BWOs, a lot of fantastic representations there. One of my favorites, the Anatome. Anatome is just a fantastic fly. Do really well with it, super buggy looking. Shag Uncle's Radiation, Betis. Another great fly. One of my standbys, kind of a bread and butter pattern as well, is the Pocket Water. Nice little legs, good profile. Then, like I said, good drake activity. So we're fishing gray drakes and green drakes here. And your gray drake nymph, one of my favorite pattern for a drake is called the KGB, and this is a size 14 wide gap hook. That's the darker color, and then we've got the lighter color for the gray drake representation. These KGBs work super well. Great fly. And then some October caddis definitely kicking around. So we are catching fish on larger caddis larvae. And the bars uncased caddis is a fantastic fly, as is the GTI caddis. Both larger caddis larvae. Now let's move into the emerger stage, and really within the emergers we're focusing on the BWO. There's 4 strong breadwinner patterns you need to have in your box. One's the purple Jujubetas. Okay, much smaller profile, but it does have the wing case popped on it. Okay. And then we've got the Iceberg Betis, which is one of my breadwinner flies. That's Larry Kingery's design. It's got the popped wing case. Soft tackle emerger, been around a long time, but just a killer fly. For those of you that like to fish RS2s, this is a better emerger than an RS2 in my opinion. It's got more going on with the wing case. Let's step that back. Not a better emerger, but a better emerger in the subsurface film when the BWO has really popped that wing out. And then another standby, the Batwing emerger. Like I said, we're fishing these emergers in the film. If we're seeing fish dimple the surface and we see them, physically taking emergers in the first few inches, I'll fish that under a BWO dry. If I'm seeing them deeper, I'll run it deeper with a number 6 split shot below an attractor dry. Let's look at those attractor dries real quick that we could run either the beadhead nymphs on a long drop under or those emergers. My best fly right now, Never Sink Trude. Red body, easy to see, love this fly. Red and purple are my 2 favorite attractor colors right now. Purple's the most visible color to fish in the light spectrum, and so with lower light, I love purple. This is a red hippie stomper. Again, great attractor fly, easy to see. Going into the purple 409. Great fly. Good indicator fly, easy to see, fish like it. Fish are eating attractors still right now, guys. And they will through the month of October. And then the purple chubby. And chubbies in various colors, red, purple, tan. They'll still work really well as attractor dries. So again, you can drop a red quill, BWO, drake nymph underneath your attractor dry on maybe a 30+ inch drop. Fluorocarbon, a must on that stuff, or you can run an emerger underneath. Let's look at our hatch matching dries. Let's look at the big bugs first. Mostly gray drakes out there right now. So the big gray drake representation, this is the Film Critic, Bob Quigley's pattern, and this is our hair wing drake, which is one of my favorites. Let's look at red quills. And really there's only one you really need right now, and that's in the spinner category. We really like the Crystal Wing spinner here right now. Most of what you're going to see in the red quill category is going to be within spinner falls, and those can happen in the morning, they can happen throughout the day, so it just kind of depends on where you're fishing. Let's move into BWOs because that's our our main focus right now. One fly that I really like that is actually a dry emerger, and this is a specific pattern we carry. Do really well on it when I see a lot of fish feeding in the subsurface film, a few fish on the surface. It's called the hatching Mayfly. It's got that nice little shuck coming off of it, and CDC wing, really productive fly. I typically run it beneath an attractor dry to see it because it can be more difficult to focus on, especially in low light. Again, going back to that purple coloration, hatch matching dry for the BWO, and that's the purple parachute. Great fly, especially if you have trouble seeing stuff. One of my breadwinners, especially when fish are picky, CDC Comparadun. One of my favorites. And last but not least, the Wild Turkey Beta is from Larry Kingery. Great fly. More of a flag dun, but fishes really well. And let's spotlight a couple streamers that we love. With brown trout being more territorial, they don't want other fish in their area. Obviously, if they're building reds, that's going to come up later in the month. They don't want fish near those reds, other fish near those reds, besides their, paired spawning mate. And so typically I'm going tandem on my streamers, and what I like up front are olive representations that look like other brown trout or rainbow trout. The Baby Gonga has been our best-selling streamer this year. Tandem hook, trailer hook. I still like to throw a dropper fly off this, but this is a really fun fly to fish. The other lead fly I like, Charlie Craven's Dirty Hippie. Looks just like a fish when it's wet. Great fly for that lead fly. My number one dropper fly, Thin Mint. Heavy, gets down, stays down, really good profile. Another great fly, tan and olive near enough sculpins. Really good streamer. So we've gone over a lot of rigs there. If you do have any questions, of course, stop in the fly shop or give us a call toll free 888-994-6743. One thing I do want to spotlight, every year we have a great fall event on this river, the Fall Fest, and this year we're happy to have Riverboat Works out of Salida joining us. The event will be on October 17th, so not this coming Saturday, but the next Saturday. Every year we have phenomenal specials. If you're looking to pick up tippet, leaders, flies, other gear, this is the time to do it. It's our end of season sale, but not really the end of season because October is fantastic and we fish hard into November, like I said. But as far as outdoor, clothing and outerwear and waders boots, one day only on October 17th, we'll have such specials as buy a dozen, get a dozen free flies. We'll have 70% to 75% off leaders and tippet. We'll have great specials on rods and reels. We'll have 20% off any waders and boots, and great specials on outerwear. So do come by. We will have free beer. Like I said, Riverboat Works from Salida will be down here with some of their great boats that they build up there. Great boats for the Arkansas and abroad. So if you're interested in that, come check out a great local company. And that will be running doors open at 9 a.m. and we will be going 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Okay, so a lot of great stuff going on that day. Give us a call toll free or check out the website or our Facebook page for updates on any of event specials and stuff like that. Again, it's been my pleasure to present this report to you. Again, this is Taylor from Royal Gorge Anglers, the oldest fly shop and fly fishing guide service on the Arkansas. If you have any questions about the Arkansas or other drainages in our area, the South Platte, Grape Creek, Badger Creek, Beaver Creek, Spinney Reservoir, give us a call, toll free 888-994-6743, or feel free to shoot us an email at info@royalgorgeanglers.com. Thanks so much for viewing. Have a great day on the water.